Welcome to the Rising Consciousness Show, 20 minutes of soulful insights and powerful tools to elevate your life experience and create with higher clarity, intention, and vision. I'm Tara Antler, intuitive healer and soul coach.
And I'm King Gabriel, spiritual teacher and practitioner. And we are the co-founders of Ascension Academy of Light,
a global center for spiritual growth, intuitive healing, and soul alignment.
Get ready to blast off.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm so grateful to be here with you. There is so much unfolding, so much that I want to share with you, especially around our purpose. We started the new module within Thrive Evolution, and this year, the focus of this time of year in the fall, we go into spiritual mastery, and there's always a different theme that happens. And this year, the theme is all about our purpose, tapping into the soul purpose, activating our soul purpose. And this week, it was my week to teach. And man, oh man, was it an awesome week. I'm getting so much positive feedback from some of our clients that I want to share with you here, because when we start to really open and activate not only what we think we know about our purpose, we really start to open and activate the layers of our purpose that are unknown to us, or that have been hidden or closed or not available to us for whatever reason. Some magical things start to happen. We open in ways that are just mind-blowing. And I want to share you through examples instead of me just telling you what's been happening, because I just think it's going to be so much more impactful and maybe it will resonate with you. So one of the things that we did this week, we started this journey, actually, let me back up. We started this journey 3 weeks ago. And the very first class and session was really about returning us to the sacred yes. So the moment that we chose this planet, this earth, this experience, this life. And many of us have things about that. I'll just say that. We have things about the moment that we chose. Many of us were very excited, but then the moment that we connected to this earth experience, it came with a bit of a thud or a drop in energy or a holy SHIT moment. I'm going to earth. And this is going to be a crazy, wild experience. And some of us were ready for it and excited. Others, there was a bit of apprehension. And I believe it's that apprehension that sometimes sets up a feeling of later on in life, I don't know if I want to be here anymore. I don't know if I can handle this earth thing. This is hard. This is intense. This is a lot. And if that isn't healed and cleaned up, or those thoughts aren't healed and cleaned up, which that surfaced for some of our clients that they shared with me. And I've heard this many, many times with clients over the years. Even myself, I remember in my teenage years, especially late teenage years, when life was getting a little bit more challenging and I was getting ready to go to university, there was an excitement, but at the same time, change was happening and it was happening fast. And whenever life, the earthly expression, felt hard, I remember this feeling or this thought would come up of, oh my gosh, this is hard. I don't know if I could do this. This is really hard. I don't know if I could get through this. And not that they were, take your own life sort of thoughts, but it kind of had that little bit of a vibe. And a lot of clients have openly shared with me that they too have had that experience or those feelings. And many might be concerned and think, well, get them to a psychiatrist right away. But it's more than that. It's not about suppressing ourselves with drugs and remedies and all those types of things. It's about really looking at what is the fundamental underlying breakdown that's happening here that's causing that sort of thinking or feeling or experience. And what I've come to know over the 23 years of working with clients is that it goes all the way back to the very first moment when we made the decision to come here, when we chose to be here in this body, in this life, on this earth. There was probably a curiosity and an excitement and a joy. And maybe for some of us, there was a bit of apprehension about coming here because we knew what we were stepping into. We knew that the field was going to be a little bit denser than where we were. And we weren't sure if we really wanted to do it. We weren't sure if we were really capable of doing it, or we knew we were going to go through some sort of spiritual amnesia and forget all the things and have to reset and start over. And that's a lot to take on. And yet we did it. We did it anyways. And sometimes I feel like when we're in these quotation, air quotes, weaker moments, it's in those times that the shadowest part of ourselves and our thoughts come to the surface. And it's worth looking at because it's worth clearing. It's worth healing. I just recorded my light clearing technique, which I finally just trademarked. because it's such a powerful clearing technique that I have facilitated and taught tens and tens and tens of thousands of clients over the years. And it's still one of the most powerful clearing techniques that I have come across to date. It's important to learn how to move the energies that we face and that come into our experience so that they don't plague us, so that they don't have us feel like there's something wrong with us or that we're wrong for feeling what we're feeling. We're not. We're really not. It's a fundamental thing that happens for many people, many of us, when we decide to come into this earth experience. So that was number one. Then Gabriel had his session last week, and then it was my turn for Thrive Evolution this week. And what we dove deeper into was really starting to have the purpose flower open a little bit more, and not by force, really allowing it to open easily and gently. And a lot of times, and this, I've seen it myself, I've seen with clients, we want to know all the things right away. And many times we force or we push. And it brings me back to the experience of being pregnant. You can't force pregnancy. You can't force conception. You can't force your pregnancy to speed up. You can't force, and people try to, this is what's unfortunate, force delivery. And unfortunately, there are intervention techniques that force delivery, and it always comes with complications. And so those complications, they come up because we've interfered with what is very natural. And this came up this past week, even for myself. We're going through a beautiful restructuring and grounding and regrouping our business into 2 companies instead of 1. And as I've been doing that with Gabriel, something came up in my awareness around manifestation, because we love speaking about manifestation. It's been a core teaching of ours from the very beginning. And I said, I don't want to lose that. I don't want to let that go. I don't want to give that piece up. And I want to find where it fits within what we're creating. And something that came back to me with a rush was that manifestation is one of the most easy, natural things for all of us to do, air quotes, because it's a part of us. We're built to create. We're made to manifest. And so that's another signature process that we are trademarking right now, is made to manifest. And what's so interesting to me is that when we intervene and we think that we know better, we think that we know the higher timeline, we think that we can push or force our way to deliver a baby, to force creation, to force our manifestations, or to force when our purpose is meant to unfold in its divinity, it's us meddling with things. We're intervening and meddling with things, and there's always a repercussion energy that comes from that. So take what you want from that, but I feel like that's a really important piece to drop in. And what all of our clients experienced this week was the trust, a deeper trust. That's what they all echoed back to me this week, even in Q&A. And they said, just being able to drop in and trust that everything is unfolding, and that I can still be action oriented. I could still take steps and do the things that I love to do. And I don't have to force my purpose to unfold. And in the not forcing is when the purpose actually unfolds. It reveals itself because we're not forcing life to move before its time. We're really honoring, deeply respecting the process of creation, knowing that we're a part of it and we're playing our part, and that we're preparing ourselves to be ready for when that opening comes. And this week in Q&A, which is one of our favorite elements of Thrive Evolution, I said to them this week, I could do Q&A every single day because I love the questions, and our community, it keeps getting better and better, higher and higher. The questions keep getting better and better, and more distilled and more refined and more mature, spiritually mature. So it's opening up this higher conversation for Gabriel and I and our clients that we all equally love. And the conversations that came up, like every time I go back up to the house out of our office as I'm recording this, we're still in Northern Ontario. And I said to Gabriel, he goes, how did Q&A go? I'm like, oh my God, it was like one of my favorite Q&As. He goes, I think you said that 2 weeks ago too. I'm like, oh my God, they're all my favorite Q&As because they're just so powerful, and the questions are so potent, and then the answers are so potent that come forward that it all lines up. And I want to share that because there's no force. It's not like I come into Q&A with a plan. I never do. I make a coffee, I come down, I show up, I set my intention to connect to Source Creator. I let the divine speak through me, teach through me, lead through me, and I open up the space and I say, okay, who wants to kick us off? And away we go. And so there's no plan, there's no agenda. It's really being in divine flow with whatever needs to come through. And that's such a great way to live, even when it comes to your purpose and unfolding those pieces, because you don't have an agenda. You're allowing your purpose to unfold with ease. And so some of the things that clients have reported back to us this week was pretty miraculous. And this was only within 2 days, like 2 days from Tuesday, as I'm recording this is Friday, from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 2 days, because class was on Tuesday night. So Wednesday, Thursday, amazing things popped open. Some of our clients realized that the process of creation had become almost detached or not connected to in the way that they would have loved to. Other clients realize that there's so many ideas that they have, there's so many parts of their purpose, that now it's a matter of streamlining and allowing themselves to take aligned action, which was really cool. Others let me know that they noticed their kids even springing up in energy this week, because as they tapped into higher purpose, they started showing up differently as a parent, and the kids felt it, and then their purpose birthed. Like even Aria, she's been wanting to start her own YouTube show for a little while now, and her iPad, which they haven't owned iPads or anything like that. They haven't had tech other than my old phone occasionally. And it was something that we consciously chose to do, to not put the tech in their hands. And I'd say maybe an hour and a half a day, they'll each have access to the tech, because we don't want to take it out completely, but we also don't want them to have like free reign. And so we ordered an iPad for her, and it arrived, and she was so excited. So yesterday we let it charge. We got it all set up today. And I said, okay, baby girl, I'm like, are you ready to start your YouTube show? This is all on the heels of doing this purpose class, right? And we're going to be talking about purpose for the next, until the end of the year. And so she said, yeah, I'm ready to go. And so I said to her, okay, well, what's the name of it? And she came up with a name, and Gabriel and I brainstormed with her, and something landed, the clarity, the description, everything. And she started her YouTube show immediately. She did not waste any time. She went for it. Like straight away, she went for it. She came down into the office right after I set up her YouTube show, created a little banner, which we still have to create it a little bit, more professional, but we created the banner, created her little profile picture, uploaded the description, put the name of it. And I said, well, you're good to go. Showed her how to screen record, how to do all the things. She came down to the office immediately. She did not waste time. She didn't sit and think about it, and how am I going to do this, and how am I going to, she wasn't overthinking anything. And I was thinking about this, especially after Light Leadership last night. Every Thursday we have our Light Leadership Mastermind. And a lot of times, and I saw this last night, a lot of times when there's a lot of ideas, we can go into analysis paralysis, which was something that was happening with a few of our light leaders. And so I gave them some tips on how to move through that and clear the overwhelm. And what's so interesting is that it's really only adults that go into overwhelm and analysis paralysis. Like, how am I going to do this? Got to make it look perfect. Is this going to be awesome? How's this going to unfold? How's my purpose going to unfold? What's the impact going to be? Is it going to be big enough? How am I going to message this? To Aria, as a 9-year young girl, none of that mattered. None of that came into her awareness. She was just like, okay, great. It's set up. Okay, great. I'm good to go. And she came down and she recorded, I think, 5 or 6 episodes. Now I got to finish the work on that and polish it a little bit to get it up. But I said, let's just put it up. Let's just go for it. And all the other pieces, the intro, the outro, all that'll get perfected over time. But it's just go for it and do the thing. And that so relates to what we were talking about on Tuesday and on Thursday in Thrive and then Light Leadership, around really being able to, once the thing lands, once the piece of your purpose opens, just go for it and do the thing. But so many times we hold ourselves back because it's got to look perfect, or we got to have all the right pieces in place. And then the opposite end of the spectrum, how I was just talking about, we can push ourselves, right? We can push and try to push creation and push our manifestations and push the unfolding of our purpose. But then we can go to the other end of the spectrum where we then hold back. So the pieces drop and the pieces land and the pieces open and the pieces reveal themselves, and then we hold back. We stop the flow, we stop the energy, we stop the birthing process. And that was something else that came up this week for myself after talking with one of our clients and running her through a rebirthing session, which I haven't done probably in over a year. And this was something I used to walk every single client through, was the moment that they were born and take them back. I learned this process through one of my mentors, Richard Hastings, who I've talked about many, many times. He's the one that dropped in, heal the one, you heal all. And one of the things that he taught me and the rest of our peers and students, or the other students that were in the class, was that there was this technique that you would walk people back, almost like a semi-hypnosis state, and you walk them back to the moment that they were delivered into the world and rewrite it. And it was such a sacred thing to do for this client. I wish I would have recorded it because it was so beautiful and so powerful. And it was very specific to her and what she had experienced during her, like when she was delivered and was birthed into the world. And it was so powerful and it was so beautiful. And she felt the immediate effects of that elevation. And it had me thinking about my birthing experience coming into this world, and then even with the boys. And I did that work again on myself and tweaked a few little things, and then also did that with the twins because I would have preferred to birth them at home. And I allowed fear to set in and went to the hospital, which if I could have redone it, which I did, I redid it in my mind, I would have birthed at home, and I know it would have been easy and fluid and flowing, and I didn't have much intervention. I still delivered the boys naturally, but the process took a little longer because I made the decision out of fear, and I stepped into a field of fear, which took me a little bit longer to get through that to then naturally deliver them. But all that to say that it relates again to purpose, because if in the moment, we're birthing an idea or wanting to have something come through after purpose pieces drop in, and then we hold ourselves back, then you're not doing the thing, you're not fulfilling on your purpose yet again. But from a different perspective, we're holding it back. And that's what I was sharing with our client. I said, when I was born, my mom, and this is a story I should tell in another time. I should probably record this as a separate episode. But I was literally held in her canal. And so I was held back from that expression. And that can have an effect on how we actualize or take action in our life. And if that's not healed, it can pose a problem. And once that's gone, then it's like with Arya, she doesn't have it. She's nothing. She's just like, idea. Okay, great. It dropped. We did the thing. Okay, great. Now let me go do the thing and just finish it. Right. And so I want you to really look at for yourself, as we're knee deep in the purpose conversation, to really look at, do I know my purpose? Is there more to my purpose that's yet to open and unfold? And am I taking the action to get it done? Am I actually taking the steps, the aligned steps? Am I noticing myself in push? Am I noticing myself in holding back? And where can I start to find center again, find the middle ground, find harmony again, so that I can return to the natural flow and then return to natural alignment? And if this is something that you want further support on, reach out to us. There's still time to join Thrive Evolution and be a part of this section of Thrive, which is really, really powerful. And it's going to help you. It's going to help you with healing and letting go of some of those apprehension moments around following our purpose and really taking the step. And it's also going to help you heal and clear sometimes when we hold ourselves back, or when we feel like we're pushing and forcing too much. And then it's going to help you really come to that center point, harmonize and realign again, so that your purpose gets to unfold in such beautiful ways. And this is where the results then start to open up. This is where we actually get to see more abundance flowing in our life and more opportunities, and things just magically get to happen because we are in full alignment. So again, if you're interested, reach out to us. I'll put a link in the comments below to book a call if you want, or to find us on social media. And we are so excited to continue this conversation with you. I'm going to make myself a note to tell that birth story at another time. I want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being here, sending so much light to you, so much love. And I hope you have the most beautiful day.
Thank you so much for joining us today on another episode of the Rising Consciousness Show. For more high vibration conversations, meditations, energy activations, and tips and tools on creating your most exceptional life, we lovingly invite you to connect with us at academyoflight.ca. The website is www.academyoflight.ca. It is time to create your heaven on earth experience, and we look forward to sharing this beautiful journey with you.
You're listening to Rising Consciousness, yeah.
Woo!
Woo!